I did not get assassinated, chat. There's no Hasashin. Ted Cruz isn't here. Also, interesting, AOC. AOC, hold on, give me a second. AOC claimed that Ted Cruz is the Hasashin. He tried to get her Hasashin. Do you guys remember that? Was the most hilarious stuff I heard. Apparently, like, she wasn't even in the Capitol, right? No. But, she went on record saying that Ted Cruz is the Hasashin. And all of a sudden, she doesn't say that anymore. Like if someone tried to get me assassinated, I wouldn't overlook the incident so quickly. But for some reason, like, she doesn't even mention it. The Hasashin. Hold on. Like, what was the news article? Let me look again, because I remember, like, covering it in This Week is Stupid. So AOC claims Ted Cruz wanted her. There's the fact check. Hey, here we go. Go. Look here, you bigot. Look here. AOC deny claiming Ted Cruz almost had her assassined. Right-leaning political activist posted a 3-tweet Monday saying that AOC claims that she never said that Ted Cruz wanted her murdered. And let's see the facts. The facts from the Newsweek. How long do I need to scroll? Mostly true. When the New York Post asked AOC if she tweeted that Ted Cruz tried to be the assassin, she said that was not the quote. She tweeted that he almost... so he's a bad assassin. Like, her problem is not with the intent. Her problem is with the methods. Luckily, they did not work, but he almost assassinated. Jesus fucking Christ. These American politicians, holy shit. The rhetoric. You know, like, here in Eastern Europe, it's like, this guy is corrupt. This guy is, is doing shady business. Like, this is what, in America, he's the assassin. Trying to get me assassinated. How much you want to bet these people are so dumb they don't really realize that the image is historical? No, they realize that the image is historical. There's people on Twitter that are complaining that when they are looking at these individuals, in this particular case, it's hold on, let me see who's in this picture, because it's not Sargon. It's a guy wearing a mask. He's wearing a mask, and I think it's Al-Absur. Al-Rabisu. I gotta say, I genuinely do not know who Al-Rabisu is. I do know a lot of his story. Her story. His story. I know a lot of his story. But unfortunately, I do not know who Al-Rabisu is. Probably a great man. I used to love pissing off my history teacher like that. Like, who is such and such a great man? But why do you think he is great if you don't? Well, if he wasn't great, you wouldn't ask me about it. So anyway, right? The interesting thing is that people are worried because it's like it reminds them of racist YouTuber. And I'm thinking like, I don't think there is a single take that Sargon of Akkad has. Like, not a single take that Sargon of Akkad has that Al-Rabisu doesn't believe the same take, more to the extreme, more to the far right. And I don't even know who the fuck Al-Rabisu is, but knowing history, her story, a little bit, I can safely assume that, on every issue that you ask Sargon of Akkad, on LGBT issues, on issues of border control, on capital punishment, on being tough on crime, like literally, like you just pick and choose. Pick and choose any topic you want. Al-Rabisu is going to be a little bit more extreme than Carl Benjamin. I have this feeling. Again, I do not know who Al-Rabisu is. I do not know like what stances he had or what politics he had. I can assume he's a Muslim. Right, so even on the matter of abortion, I can believe that he is a little bit more conservative than Carl Benjamin. And yet you see all these chuckleheads on Twitter clutching their pearls, going like, oh my god, far-right YouTuber. A great man. I assume he is a great man. Again, like, we wouldn't be talking about him if he wasn't a great man. It's like my history teacher was like, who is Aurelius? I don't fuck. A great man. Al-Rabisu was hardcore. He probably was. Sargon sounds so bad today. Man, I miss like him being a shitposter. I genuinely like miss him being one of the guys. Now when he speaks, he talks academic. It's like hearing the evil twin brother of Christy Winters. I don't enjoy that. I mean, some people maybe they do, but I personally, no. I miss the old Sargon. Like if I had a time machine and was able to watch his old takes, I would have loved that. Hello, aristocratic utensil. Al-Rabisu was a great man. Yeah, who's Marcus Aurelius? A great man. I never managed to fail that. Luckily, my history teacher never asked me about who Hitler was or who Goebbels was, because then, well, actually nothing would have happened because I was in Romania. No one would have given a fuck. Believe it or not, we actually didn't spend that much time on Hitler. Interesting, right? Like, oh my god, the Romanian educational system. Like, it was like World War II. It was more like what happened in Romania during World War II, and it was mostly about the battles, and we talked a little bit about Stalingrad. And then we talked about the communists. Yeah, I mean, Hitler was like, yeah, by the way, yeah, it wasn't, how should I put it? Like when we actually started her story, it wasn't like a black and white thing, like a movie. Like the good guys and the bad guys. It's like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. No, it was, like, this happened, and these are the causes, this is what led to it, and that was it. I would eat the babies if it would bring back 2000 internet and YouTube. Oh my god, like, 2016 internet was so fucking great. Sargon used to say the N-word on YouTube. Dude, like, everyone used to say the N-word on YouTube in 2016. And like people didn't even think about it. Like, they would just say it. The idea of censorship wasn't a thing. Like, unless you said it to an actual person. But, like, even then, you know, like, most people wouldn't say it. But like, to just casually say, like, okay, so such and such said the word, or here's the rap lyric, or, you know. You're all a bunch of white... Anyway. I wonder, like, how many people got that reference. Huh? How many of you got that reference? Vlad the Impaler. Great man. Unironically, like, from a Romanian perspective, he was. It's interesting that even people in Turkey, they still consider Vlad the Impaler to be... Like, they know who he is. And they consider him, I don't know if I can say honorable, but, like, a great historical figure. I mean, for the love of God, you know, he had like a tiny country and managed to hold off the Ottoman Empire. Like, that is a fucking achievement. You remember that one, eh? You're all a bunch of white ninjas. You treat me the same way you think ninjas act. We survived the Call of Duty lobbies. Oh my god, the Call of Duty lobbies from 2006. Do you know that I was invited by Unity, the engine, to join a roundtable discussion about toxicity in gaming? And I was showed the pictures of some of the participants. It was a person that had a beard and no hair on his skull and glasses. Like, long beard, no hair on his skull, right, and glasses. There was, like, a lady which appeared very concerned. Like, she was like, this was her picture. Again, like, the topic was toxicity in gaming. Like, this is her. And another lady, and she was like... So, and then it was, like, an Asian man, right? So, these were the individuals that popped up on my email today. by Unity, which wanted to address the toxicity in gaming. I noticed something interesting about toxicity in gaming, and I don't know why no one is picking up on it, because it may be something or it may not be. You know, it's like causation doesn't equal correlation doesn't equal causation. But did you notice that like suicides rates among male teenagers went down as video games became more and more popular? Like, no, seriously, like if you look at suicide rate, they go like, you know, like as video games become more popular and more people are playing video games, the number of suicides, and then they crack down on toxicity, and then the suicides rate, like unironically, like it's almost like a. You can't actually, you know, like, causation, correlation doesn't equal causation. I get it, but like there may be something there, though. There may be something there. I'm not in a sauna, but I should be. If they were going to show hate messages, I want my hate messages. The thing is, like, here's the question. Like, what if you have gamers that want to play with other toxic people? Like, is this a legit reason? No, unironically, like, if I were to want to actually be able to experience the 2016 internet, so I would want a place where there's toxicity. Like, I genuinely volunteer. Okay. Why is it immoral, though? Like, it's just words. So, if I want to play with other toxic people, why can't I? Why is it that everything needs to be sanitized? Why can't I play with other toxic players? If they consent, I consent. Why is someone else down the middle that says, yay? Like a horse high on ivermectin. They go like, yay. You can't. LAN party? Local area network? That would be interesting. It's like you want toxicity. Join the LAN. I did wipe the camera. I do not know. You know what? Fuck you. You don't deserve the camera. I will take the camera away from you. If you don't like the camera, then get fucking camera. I'm going to be like DSP, punishing everyone for the actions of a few. God damn it. Stop being distracted. Listen to what I say, because what I say is important. I'm talking about toxicity in game. Real shit. And you're talking about the fact that my camera is bloody. And I'm in a sauna. How dare you? I'm going to get Greta Thunberg here in order to say, how dare you? How dare you complain? Not paying attention to the fact that I'm talking about important issues. Talking about important issues. As if you guys don't miss toxicity again. The only way you don't miss toxicity in gaming if you're a zoomer. Like, if you're a zoomer, you may actually, you may have never heard about toxicity in games. You don't know what you're missing. Like, you think the way things are now is how things should be. But in reality, they shouldn't be like this. It doesn't have to be this way. I don't even think it's about women. It's like once you let women in, everything has to be sad. No, I don't think it's about women. I think it's about activists and control and power. Toxic LAN parties is a hole in the market. I think you can still have like LAN parties. If you go to an internet cafe or to an arcade, you can still have those. I do wonder though, if you actually have like someone that's supervising there, and if you say naughty words, they kick you out. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. There was like an event in Sweden, if I remember. DreamHack? Was that what it was called? DreamHack, where everyone was like bringing their computer and they were having a LAN party there. And then the social justice also killed it. Because it was like, okay, well, you can come here, but like, cosplay is not consent. As if people don't know. But by the way, I never understood like the cosplay is not consent shit. Like hold on, let me show you. So you had like these bizarre posters that sprung up at gaming conventions, which were like cosplay is not consent, right? So it implies, like, please keep your hands to yourself. It implies that the problem was so bad that they had to put... why is there a toilet paper here? I use toilet paper after I masturbate. But I don't think that... Alright, so imagine you're in a neighborhood, right? And on that neighborhood, there's signs everywhere. Do not steal from people. Do not mug people. You know, people who go on the street shouldn't be mugged. Doesn't that create, like, the idea that that neighborhood is dangerous? Like, even if it's not? Just like putting signs there, like, do not steal. Do not shoplift. Do not, right? Like, it creates, like, this area that causes fear. And I'm thinking, like, okay, well, if I go to a cosplay event and I see these things, like, am I going to be groped? Am I, like, is it... And again, like, this isn't a place where you can have cameras everywhere, right? Because it's, like, in an indoors area. Like, not to mention, like, cosplay is not gonna say, okay, like, what, well, the premise? Like, if you go outside, it's... So, yeah, you're not supposed to touch women without their permission. I mean, I think everyone knows that, right? Like, it's a crime. But they came up with the concept. No, unironically, like, the left legitimately believes that Naruto is real. I'm not kidding. Like, they live in the world of Naruto. They believe that the villains, they need talk no jutsu. Like, if you have a criminal that's about to commit a crime, if you talk with them, like, if you teach them, they all of a sudden stop being criminals. No, unironically, like, think about it. This is literally what leftists believe, right? Like, they believe that we live in a rape culture, and you need to teach men not to rape. That's the problem, right? Like, they just don't know. They don't explain, like, why rapists cover their tracks and, you know, they try to run away from the scene of the crime, or... No, they don't know why that is. They just think it's like, well, they just didn't know any better. They're innocent. They're innocent, like a child. A child doesn't know. You can't punish him. So, like, if only we taught men. Like, only we need to teach them. So if they're taught, they wouldn't do it. So we need to teach them. Then talk no jutsu. I mean, right? Am I wrong? Am I not making sense? Dude, they literally believe that, no, so like, think about it, right? Like, think about it. If you listen to leftist activists, they wouldn't punish almost any crime. Like, they believe that crimes happen because of socioeconomic reasons, which is a mental deficiency, unironically. Like, you cannot believe that in the United States, where even, like, the most poor people in the US, like some of the most poor individuals, they still have access to more amenities and a roof over their head compared to other people in the world, right? Like if you think about it, like, what is the thing that an American can complain the most about? Right? When he says that he is living paycheck to paycheck. It's like, maybe he doesn't have money to go on a vacation, right? There are people out there in the world who can't pay the electrical bill and they can't put food on the table. Like, just so you can compare. And in other places of the world, you have less crime. So to claim that in the US, crime happens because of socioeconomic reasons is mental retardation. There is no other explanation for it. Now, like the idea that you have, like, a starving mother and you have a starving child and a mother steals a loaf of bread for that child in the United States, I don't believe it. That doesn't fucking exist. So, the left believes that certain crimes should not be punished. In fact, the only crimes that should be punished, according to the left, is probably like rape and murder. And even then. So what do? Talk no jutsu. An army of psychologists and social workers. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, the defund the police people, like, this is what they were saying. We need to rethink the system. The cops are racists. In fact, like, the institution of policing comes from racismus. So what we need instead of racismus is an army of psychologists and social workers. Like, literally, just talk no jutsu. I mean, I'm baffled. How can grown adults believe shit like this? Right? Oh yeah, hate crimes also should be punished. Yeah, so like muggers, looters, people who commit assault, like that's not of a concern. What is a concern is if you spray a swastika on a wall, if you desecrate a rainbow flag, like those are actual crimes. Those should be punished under the full extent of the law. Everything else, talk no jutsu. So the conversation should go like this: hey, can I touch you? No, unironically, like when feminism was in vogue, South Park actually made fun of it, and like this was actually a thing. You should actually like get written consent. I'm not kidding. Like there were people that suggested you should. They had the phone app back in 2016. I remember. Like they had the phone app, and you had to like send a message where the other person would consent. And of course, the phone app had like a TOS which pointed out that this can't be legally enforceable because, like, think about it. Let's say, stop laughing, violence is life. I'm talking about real shit. Like from a legal standpoint, right? Let's say you have the phone app, or you even have like documents and a lawyer, right? So you want to have sex with a lady, and you have a lawyer coming up, and he gives like the consent forms, and she signs it, and you sign it, and you have it in triplicate, and just like the official stamp on it from the mayor, like everything is on the up and up, okay? So you have consent. And then you start fucking, and at one point, she says that she doesn't want to anymore. Now, how do you prove that she said that? Right? So like, no, seriously, like, think about it. Maybe I need to rephrase. So you have the consent in written form in triplicate with the mayor stamp on it, right? And she claims that after you signed it, she withdrew the consent. How do you prove it? How do you prove she didn't? Like, aren't you back to square one? Because this is like what the issue is. It's like the proof, the burden of proof, right? Like if a person, if two people have sex, and one person claims that it was consensual, and the other person claims that it wasn't consensual, if there aren't any witnesses, if there is no evidence, if there are no chat logs, how do you prove? Like, which one of the two is lying? Right? So, like, just having, like, consent in a written paper, it doesn't help you at all. Because the person can say, well, yeah, I consented then, but, like, I didn't consent for the next time. I guess, yes, like, the only way is to have a person watching at all times. Yes. Do you know that Canada actually had a yes means yes law? Like, good God, goodness gracious, when I say Canada, I should cross myself. Should cross myself to invoke divinity so that the stuff from there shouldn't come over here. The yes means yes law. Like, literally, she had to say yes throughout the entire intercourse. I don't know, like, what lawmaker came up with that, but it literally, like, yes, 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 yes. Imagine, you know, like, if she's about to come, so, like, she just can't say it, like, she's like, and you stop, and it's like, why the fuck did you, because you just say yes. Don't blame me, blame the government. Do you remember the no-no square? Oh yeah, the no-no square. Oh my fucking God. How can I forget? Like, the best body laundering operation that no Norwegian person will actually admit that it was a body laundering thing. This is like my most favorite. Alright, hold on. Let me see. So, believe it or not, this actually costed a lot of money. Like, taxpayers paid for this shit. I always love it though. Like the thing that I love the most is these two individuals right here. I wish I could have a beer with them, but look at it.
Stop! Don't touch me there. This is my no-no script.
So I want you to imagine. What I want you to imagine, you're in Israel, right? There's this bad guy coming from Hamas, wanting to do bad things to you. Apparently, you can do the magical dance and he will go away.
Stop! Don't touch me there. This is my no-no square.
Unironically, this actually works in the United States.
Stop! Don't touch me there. This is my no-no square.
The reason that it works, this guy is about to burst laughter. Like, I am willing to bet that after this video is taken, this guy is going to laugh to tears. This woman looks serious, but this woman looks like, oh god, why am I here? Like she's like, I'm too old for this shit. But no, like, unironically, this dance works in the United States. You just need a reagent. You know, you need a consumable. It's called the Glock. And if you do like, stop, don't touch me there. This is my no-no Glock. Then I guarantee people will stop. Even the bad guy from Hamas may stop. That's all you need to have. You need the reagent though. It's consumable. The consumable is the ammunition. The gun itself is... Stop. Don't touch me there. This is my no-no Glock. Am I not correct? Huh? Am I not correct? Yeah, it is real. Like, people believe... Like, unironically, V, consent law consultant, I did law school. Like, I can figure out, like, if a guy comes to me and he goes like, V, I want to sue someone. Great. What are we looking at? It's like, well, you know, it was consensual, but but I signed the papers. Yeah, but like, what about after? Like, what do you mean after? Well, after you signed them, did you still consented? The thing is though, like, many people on my channel keep asking, is this real? Is this real? Yes, I'm not pushing fake news. I'm not. Everything I talk about has transpired. It has happened, chat. Like, I'm sorry if it's difficult to believe or to fathom, but like, what we discuss here is the real shit. There was actually a campaign where I think it was the Finnish government spent like 1 million kroners or some shit. I don't know how much is 1 million. Probably a lot of money. Definitely over $100,000 in order to do that dance. Yeah, it is real. The thing is, like, they never show if the rapes have gone down. They never do that, right? It's kind of like throwing money into a dark hole. Like, you throw the cash and you don't know what happens. They could have gone down, they could have gone up, they could have stayed the same. We don't. No one is looking at it. It's interesting. You know, like, when you pay money for something, you're at least interested to see, like, what the results are. Like, for example, I pay money for a coder in order to develop my game. So every day I ask him, what the fuck did you do today? I was like, well, I did this. And I'm like, great. Game is better than it was yesterday. But again, like, because it's my money, I'm interested. The government doesn't seem to be interested. It's like, okay, well, here's somebody. What to do? Stop rape. Like, okay, well, we're doing this dance. Anti-rape Macarena. Did it work? We don't know. Probably. I mean, it was successful. Okay. I think they just want an excuse to launder that money. Yes. Unironically, yes. Money was thrown in a hole after that dance. That's for sure. It is for sure. It did happen. It's like Brazilian taxes you pay and you never know where it goes. See, like, a lot of people are calling me libertarian. It's like, V, you don't like taxes. It's like, no, you know, when someone talks to you about taxes, they're like, oh, but V, the roads, V. The military. It's like, okay, I want to pay money for the roads and the military, but what about the rest of that shit? How expensive are the fucking roads? Like, here in Romania, we don't even have highways in Moldova. And we have holes in the ground. And yet I'm paying taxes. How much? We also have a tax called the rovignetta. The rovignetta. Yeah, no, like unironically, it's a road tax. You have to pay the rovignetta. Like, but what if I don't use it? Doesn't matter. You have to pay. Okay. It was consensual, and then I saw. Well, the thing with the alcohol is very interesting as well. So, in my country, which I like to consider that is a country of normalcy and sanity, we do believe that, yeah, like if a person is dropped dead from alcohol, right? Like you know, if you drink too much alcohol, like at one point, when you can't speak properly and you're slurring words, and you can't defend yourself, you can't, like, you know, like that type of person, right? Yeah, that person can't consent. And it's not just sex, like he can't consent to anything. Like if a person which is in an alcoholic coma, right? If you get them to sign a contract and they can prove that you took advantage of their state in order to get them to sign a contract, it doesn't have any consent. But again, we're not talking about a person that's tipsy. We're not talking about a person that's drunk. We're talking a person that's like passed out drunk. You know, like to the point where like they can't even talk properly, right? Like if you get that person's like sign here, and you put the pen in their mouth, and you're like, come on, you know, like that's not consent. But so obviously, if you're at a party and a woman is passed out drunk, right, and she doesn't like even know you're there, even acknowledges your presence, like no, this is. So she can't defend herself, she can't do anything, and if you're having sex, that is rape, right? Like that. But to claim that if the person had like one bottle of wine, and they're, you know, they're drunk, but they're not, I mean, they still realize where they are, they still realize who you are, right? And they want to have sex, to claim that that is rape is ridiculous. Because if that is true, then why can't it be the reverse? Like what if they're both drunk? Why is the man responsible? Why isn't it like the woman responsible? In Thailand, the regional governing body got a budget to build a bridge for a river a few meters long. The budget is enough to buy several sports cars. The result was a dingy, crumbling wooden bridge. Yes, doesn't surprise me. Anyway, I also wanted to discuss something else that's interesting. There's a lot of people that are asking me, V, is short fat otaku paid by the government? Is it legit? I made a video, and I legitimately like had to show people some of these DMs. It's like, yes, people genuinely do not believe that short fat otaku is talking about his own experiences. They believe that he is funded by the Canadian government. Short fat otaku is a nice Canadian. You know, the problem is that he is Canadian. They have a certain mindset. And I would say that even though he disagrees and he will say that it's not true, no, I genuinely believe that there are people who think that the government is the daddy. It's a way of thinking, right? The government is the daddy. And because of that, it's kind of like telling a person that your father is corrupt. Like most people will not believe it, right? Like most people will not believe that their father can do something that's against the interests of the son, because the father loves the son, right? So now you understand the mindset of a leftist. Instead of saying the father, you say the government. So a leftist just cannot believe that the government is corrupt, as from top to bottom, because it's like, why would the government do something against its citizens? It doesn't make sense. They believe in localized corruption, yes. Like they believe that a city hall can be corrupt. They believe that an entire police district can be corrupt. They believe that some politicians can be... But to tell an American that the corruption goes from top to bottom, they just know. No, the Constitution framework, it will prevail. V comes from Romania. I come from South Africa. We are more than familiar with state corruption. Yeah. But that's the thing. Like I see Canadians and I see Americans and I see Germans and they just don't fucking believe that it's possible. Like they come, oh, so this guy is corrupt and that guy is corrupt, so everyone is corrupt. Yeah, like literally. Everyone is, yeah. We need more pass. I think I've been following Short Fat Otaku at the same time as UV. Dude has his heart in the right place. I've always been naive. Yeah, I mean, like, look, the reason me and Short Fat Otaku is never going to agree on most things is because even though we're probably on the same side of the political ideology, on the political spectrum, the difference is that I think that the government is there to screw you over, and Short Fat Otaku believes that the government is not there to screw you over. So, like, if we disagree on these fundamentals, there's no way of agreeing on anything else. Like every single time we talk about the government, my point is like, okay, well, how is it trying to screw me over? Like, what is it doing in order to fuck me up? And he's like, no. It's like, if the government screws you over, like, eventually the wheels of justice will turn, and all right. Just ask them if they think that Russia is corrupt. He does think that Russia is corrupt. Like, that's what's interesting. Like, unironically, this is what mind fucks me. But Americans do the same, right? So, like, you look at leftist Americans that believe in fact checkers and stuff. Like, they believe that Russia does false flags. They believe that Russia does misinformation. They believe that Russia is corrupt. And they believe all these things. But they just don't believe that the United States can do it as well. Like, on the topic of false flags, they unironically believe, yeah, like, Russia does it, China does it, other countries do it. Oh, they have false pretext to go to war. Yes, Russia does it, China does it, other countries, America never. No. It can't happen. Never. No. I don't think Poland is corrupt, by the way. Like here's the thing. All countries are corrupt. But there's two factors, right? So number one, the degree of corruption. Like, some countries can be more corrupt than others. And the other thing is, like, how much power does the government have? Because if the government has a lot of power, then its corruption will seep into every single aspect of your life. If the government has low or no power, then who cares? Like, for example, I think, like, Somalia has a government, right? Who cares if that government is corrupt? It's got no power. It's like, okay, so Somalia government is corrupt. Who fucking cares? It doesn't affect me, right? But if it's like North Korean government, that government is like in every aspect of a person's life. Like, if that is corrupt, then every single aspect of your life is touched by that government, so. Yeah, limited federal government to limit the size of corruption. Pretty much. Like, the smaller the government, the less likely it is that you care about how corrupt it is. It can be like the most corrupt government in the world. If it's small, then it doesn't matter. As a Romanian, says Christine, which, like, my artist is the most cheap motherfucker. I can tell that he's Romanian just by how cheap he is. Like, instead of giving me a super chat like normal people so that I can read his shit, or just post in the chat like everyone else so that, you know, eventually he gets his stuff. No. He DMs me. He DMs me the stuff. Okay, right. It's my business model, motherfucker. When you get an art commission, do you do it for free? Why I do this? To entertain people. And I make money from super chats. So when you DM me so that I can read your shit, you're trying to bypass this. It's not fair for the other people in the chat. I will read it though. He believes that the West is more corrupt than in Romania. It is. It unironically is. And I'll tell you why the perception that Romania isn't as corrupt as is more corrupt than the West. We actually have free press here. It's not like 100% free press, but the press here is a lot more free than in other places. So when the press is free, they actually talk. Like, oh, there's a corruption scandal. And they talk about the corruption scandal. But in Germany, for example, the press isn't free. They don't talk about corruption. There's no corruption in Germany, right? So it gives the perception of the public. I talked about this before with my grandmother during communism. So like during communism, they had an investment into people thinking that there's no crime. It's kind of like you see in America, in a lot of blue states. Hello, American outlier. My day is excellent. It's kind of like you see in America, in a lot of blue states. That there was like an interview from CNN in Seattle claiming that there's no crime in Seattle. It doesn't exist. Like, oh, it's a right-wing conspiracy. There's no crime. None whatsoever. It was the same under communism. No crime, Tovarish. What are you talking about? No one commits crime in Soviet Romania. Golden age. No criminals. Because of that, my grandmother slept with the door to her house open. Like, she genuinely didn't think that there are crimes. Because the television said there's no crime. Okay. After communism fell, the press actually did become free. And they started publishing things based on ratings. Turns out that if you talk about murdering and the bed sheet and rape and shit, like, it sells. Sensationalism sells, the Romanian press discovered. Then there was like the Police Gazette. Was a newspaper, like literally just like article after article after article. We had a country of over 20 million people, and every day out of 20 million people, they would look at who died, who got murdered, who got raped. I mean, it's just crime. An entire newspaper filled with crime. Now, in a country of 20 million people, to report on 20 or 30 violent crimes, it wasn't hard. But it scared the living shit out of my grandmother. Like, she was now locking the door and pushing a dinner table in front of the door to barricade herself. I was a kid. I didn't even understand what was going on. I didn't know that that's not normal. But just so you can understand the psyche. Now, what's interesting about it is that when I went to law school, I actually had access to the records. And out of curiosity, I wanted to see the crime level under socialism and the crime level after socialism. Guess what? The crime level dropped dramatically. It was far worse under socialism. And it makes sense because, like, the borders open, people fucked off. Like, the ones that actually wanted to commit crime and stuff, like, went to other places because it was more profitable. Like, robbing from the poor isn't as profitable as going to Germany or Italy. So, like, they left the country. The crime dropped dramatically. But because of the reporting, because of how, like, they reported it, like, the perception of the public changed. It's the same with corruption, because that's what I went. Right? Like, if in Germany they don't talk about corruption on television, oh, there must not be any corruption. If they talk about corruption in Romania, oh, the problem must be severe. Same thing with the blue states in the United States. Oh, if CNN doesn't report it, it doesn't fucking exist. I'm willing to bet, like, American outlier is here. I'm genuinely curious. And I think that this is the case. Like, if CNN doesn't report on it, I think, like, people in blue states can literally see crime in front of them and they will think it doesn't exist. It's to that point, right? Like, even if you see it happening in front of you, if CNN doesn't say it happened, then it doesn't happen. It's just... Why am I not surprised? I don't know, man. It's just, like, so bizarre, right? Because there's, like, different ways of knowing things. Like, I wonder, like, how did people knew stuff before the television became a thing, before newspapers became a thing? I think they may have known stuff from the town crier, right? So, like, if the town crier wasn't crying about it, then... I mean, look with COVID. COVID is the perfect example. The moment literally the fucking moment the television stopped talking about it, it fucking went away. Like, all these panic cars that, like, I literally had people in Romania, oh, the army should forcefully vaccinate people. They stopped talking the moment the television stopped talking. It was like, it's just like fucking magic. Like, unironically, like, they were programmed by the television. It was so fucking bizarre. Bogdan is in Italy breaking in homes. The first answer on Google must be true and no doubt. Yeah, another thing. Like it's astonishing how easy it is to manipulate the masses. Like, it's hard to manipulate an individual. Like, that's true. You know, like, if you pay me to manipulate Gabriel Nartea or American Outlier or whomever in the chat, I can't do it. But to manipulate masses, that's fucking easy. It's insanely easy. It's just, and it's bizarre that it happens so easily. Um, the UK has gun crime, but you rarely see it on the news. Yeah. Yeah, no, like if it's not on the news, it doesn't fucking exist. It's just. The most interesting thing though, and this is like what really shocked me, because like before this event, I genuinely thought that you can reason with people, and that you can just like people who are wrong, you can just talk to them and they will change their mind. This is how gullible I was, and then there was one event which just literally opened my eyes that no, V, you're wrong. No, like people that they don't care about the truth. People want to be manipulated. And that was like during COVID, right? Like they were talking about impeaching Trump. I remember it. Hello, Short Talk. I remember it like it was yesterday. They were talking about impeaching Trump. And there's news that things are bad in China, that there's a new virus. They called it the China virus back then. Okay, so most people on the internet, like myself, were concerned. And we were saying like, dude, okay, so this thing, like let's see what they're saying. They're saying that this thing is transmitted by air. And it's got like a 2-week asymptomatic stage. And I was like, all right, well, fuck. I mean, if that's the case, it's going to come in Europe. Like, there's no fucking way, right? So a lot of people were like me, and we were told by the media, like, unironically, Vice Magazine published a thing. It's like, cleanliness is white supremacy or some bullshit. I'm not kidding. The Democrats had, like, Hug an Asian Day, where you go to and you hug Asians and stuff. But people like myself were considered dangerous conspiracy theorists, right? Like, do you guys remember that? So people like myself were dangerous conspiracy theorists because we were afraid that COVID may come here. And I made the video and I said, look, make sure you buy a hand sanitizer and make sure you buy soap and, like take some vitamins and that's it. What can you do? But buy hand sanitizer because it's going to be expensive and maybe buy a mask or something. Like, that's what I said. Turns out that the people who listened to me were very lucky because, like, the hand sanitizer price went through the roof. Like, unironically, if you bought, like, 100 of them, you could have sold them for, like, 10 times the price. If Amazon didn't ban you. I didn't predict the toilet paper shortage. Like, the toilet paper shortage was definitely... So, anyway, right, things happen, right? So, COVID is here now. Everyone is panicking. And I'm like, dude, you're panicking too hard. But people were like, now I'm the dangerous conspiracy theory because I'm not panicking enough, right? So, like, they used the television to first tell me that I'm panicking too much, and then they were like, you're panicking not enough. But, like, here's the thing, right? So, people believed that COVID is a conspiracy theory before, before, it became a thing on the news. Right? So it was like, no, this is just racism against Asians, like blah, 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 Hug an Asian Day. Then it's like, oh shit, it's here. Okay, well, now that it's here, it's dangerous, it's bad, lockdowns. Then you have the BLM protests. Oh, you need to go out, you need to protest, businesses stay shut down, but like go out, make sure you protest, put on a mask while we're protesting so they can't see your face. Biden wins the election. Okay, enough protesting, back into your houses, lockdowns. And I'm like, oh, come the fuck on. Like, there is no fucking way. There is no fucking way a person can watch the news and see, like, the police station burning with like, fighting but mostly peaceful protest and still take that channel seriously. But it was, like, maddening to see people. Because usually, like, when the mainstream media would lie, they would wait at least, like, half a year before they changed the narrative. But, like, there were, like, 2 or 3 narratives running at the same time. Like, at the same time, it was, you need to shut your business and stay home, stay safe. And literally, while that was happening, you need to go out and protest for civil rights. It's like, how? My dude, I got an aunt that watches the bird brains on View, and I don't even waste my time trying to explain to her. If I do, she'll say you believe everything you read, and I'm like, woman, you think DeSantis is killing black people in Florida? America is very corrupt. If a Republican looked at someone wrong, it's on the news every day. For example, Orange Man bad. That's not even the corruption, by the way. Like the mainstream media just having a political bias. That's not the The corruption is like when you have the Republican potential incumbent. I mean, he is the incumbent. Like Donald Trump is going to represent the Republic. When you have him like persecuted before the fucking elections. Like, if this was happening in Russia, there would be no doubt about it. Like, no one would doubt it. Oh, but it's not going to happen in the US? Oh, okay. And it's not just Donald Trump. Like, literally every single person associated with him. Did you notice that? Like, with the last 2 years, every single person associated with Donald Trump was either investigated. I mean, Giuliani. Giuliani was a hero, wasn't he? Like, he managed to destroy crime. And you see him in handcuffs? Like, come the fuck on. You still think it's going to be Vivek? I don't think it's going to be Vivek. There's no fucking way. He doesn't have the percentages. Doesn't have the votes. I think it's going to be Trump unless they convict him of something. It's quite possible that they will, simply because like there's a lot of charges. It is politically motivated, and he's getting charged also. Like there are. That is the letter of the law and the spirit of the law, you know, and there are certain things that everyone does, like even though technically they're illegal, like in most countries there is such a thing where it's against the law, but since everyone does it, the law isn't getting applied, because then you'd have to put everyone in prison. Like overstating the property value. Like almost everyone fucking does that. There were people on Twitter that were saying it's like, well, if you're going to arrest people for that, then arrest everyone, you know? But yeah, I mean, there was a saying in the Soviet Union. I think it was like one of Stalin's prosecutors. He was like, just show me the man and I'll show you what he did. You know, like give me a man to write 2 paragraphs and I'll show you how I can incriminate him with something. Germany literally tried to eat their third party. Yeah, I mean, it's... What do you want me to say? It's like they wanted to eat the third most popular party in order to preserve democracy. And the third most popular party gets constantly harassed, surveilled. Like, if they wouldn't suppress that party the way they do, it would probably be either the second or the first more famous. Illegal download. Yeah, illegal downloads is an example. Like in Romania, I think even the Romanian president Traian Băsescu, like he defended piracy. It's not so... Unironically, like it's interesting. There was no crackdown on Romanian piracy, yet piracy is going down. It's just like people are more wealthy and they can afford to buy stuff. I, for example, don't have anything pirated. I'm actually trying to think if I have something pirated on my PC, but I'm not saying this because I genuinely like do not have anything pirated. But back then, like the idea was that almost everyone like that didn't run a business like had at least a copy of Windows that wasn't legit. Now almost everyone buys one. It's not that expensive, right? So anyway, if you were to like back then like start locking people up and applying the law for piracy for every single person. Holy shit. Holy shit. I'm genuinely like curious, like if you go into the United States and you actually like go on every person's computer, like if you're not going to find at least one software that's not legal. Windows comes free with new laptops. I see. Oh, I didn't buy a laptop, so. Zoomers literally don't know how. Get the fuck out. I don't believe that. Corruption is when you have a judge arbitrarily decide how much your property is worth and declares a properly serviced loan a fraud with no evidence. Was it wasn't Joe Rogan saying that they believe that Trump's mansion is like $19 million and it's actually like 90 or something because it's like a huge palace or some shit? But yeah, no, like corruption is definitely when you notice that, oh, right before the election season, he gets like 3 or 4 indictments. How many indictments is he getting now? It's just like fucking ridiculous. Anyway, right. I'll end it here, so thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Sorry, Fox Troika. I'm actually shutting down now. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream, and I'll see you tomorrow.